Okay, so here we are. I'm starting out with this house stamp from Lawn Fawn. This is from the Happy Haunting stamp set, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to stamp it 3 times, and then I'm going to layer it after I've already colored it in with my Copic markers. So I'm going to speed up the Copic coloring a lot because this card took forever, which is why I'm doing a voiceover instead of, talking through the video like I usually do. So I use a combination of 4 different cool gray colors. I use C8, C6, C4, and C2. And basically I just kind of went back and forth between all of the colors trying to get it to kind of blend together really well. And then I moved on to orange and yellow, and well, I didn't have like a color in between to make them blend. So you'll see that I colored some yellow, and then I colored some orange, and then I touched the yellow marker tip to the orange one, and it just pulls a little bit of that orange color so that it will blend a little bit better. You'll see me do it here again in a minute. It doesn't ruin the tip of your marker. In fact, it's one of those kind of cheater, quote unquote, cheater methods you can use to kind of fill in the gaps in your collection of Copic markers if you don't have ones that will blend colors together. So I just use those for all of the windows on the house, and then I'm just speeding up the rest of all of this coloring because it took a really long time, and I didn't want to have make you guys sit through the entire thing. So I colored all the areas of the house that were going to be for each one, and then I took some glossy accents and put those over the windows and also the door, and then I let those dry overnight. So then here I am. This is actually a few days later. They were sitting on my desk, and I cut out all the different pieces. So the farthest back piece is the entire house, and then I cut one that was just the half of the house and the front portion, and then just the front portion. And to make any cut images look perfect, the best thing you can do is take a black marker and sort of paint the edges of your cardstock after you've cut it out. It makes it look like you cut it out perfectly. It won't have any white gaps or anything. So that's a really great way to make any of your colored images look perfect. After I finished cutting it out and painting the edges with the black marker, I used some foam adhesive just to adhere everything together. So I have the full house on the bottom, and then just the top half, and then the main front section. And then I adhered the very front on top of that as well. Here's what it looks like all done. There's quite a bit of dimension to it. I just wanted to show you guys how it looks close up. And Manny's meowing. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to hear it or not, but he's saying hello. Now I'm going to work on the background behind the house. I'm taking some Barn Door Distress ink with an ink blending tool, and this is sped up a lot too. Sorry, my hands are going 5 million miles an hour. But this part took a long time because I really wanted to bring that color down onto the white cardstock. And this is just Nina Solar white cardstock. And now I'm taking mustard seed because I wanted to turn the red into an orange, and I don't have an orange distress ink, so red and yellow makes orange. Then I brought in some broken china, some blue, and it sort of started to turn a little bit green where it overlapped that yellow. So then I brought in some vintage photo for a little brown, brought that in. And then even on top of that, I brought in some black ink. This is basic black from Stampin' Up. And the Stampin' Up ink doesn't really blend quite as much as the distress inks do, but it did tone it down quite a bit, and that's what I was going for. I just wanted it to be a little bit of a darker sky. Okay, so I just had to pause my voiceover to pick up Manny because he just kept meowing. But anyway, I took some stamping mask paper from Inkadinkado, and I drew a curved line, cut that out, and then I masked off the top portion of the background. And this is because I want to create a foreground or an area that's grounded for the house to be on. So I started out with some basic black ink from Stampin' Up, and I just pressed that onto the surface of the background. And I started to press it in, and then I realized it wasn't going to be dark enough. So I ended up picking up some StazOn ink and started pressing that into the paper, and that really darkened it up and I love how dark it turned out. So I pulled off the mask, and now I'm going to be stamping the fence stamp that's from the same stamp set, and it's actually a straight line fence, so I curved it on the acrylic block so that I could have it mimic that curve of the ground that I created with the black ink. So I'm using some more StazOn black ink and just stamping in that fence. And I stamped one side and then I stamped the other side, and they overlapped a little bit in the center, but the house covers that, so it didn't, affect the finished card at all. And now I have some cardstock vellum. I'm coating it with an EK Success powder tool because I'm going to be doing some embossing. I'm using the Ghost stamps from the same stamp set and some Versamark ink. Using some white embossing powder over the top of the ghosts. I thought it'd be kind of just a fun effect to have the ghosts be made out of vellum. Heat that with the heat tool and then carefully cut those out. Actually, I set those aside because I wanted to work on the rest of the card. So I cut down the background piece a little bit so that it could be inset on the card, and then adhered it to a black card base. So I cut out the ghost really carefully, and then to adhere the ghost to the card, I'm using this clear dimensional foam adhesive. It's this weird texture, this weird tacky texture, but it's really cool. I highly recommend it. And I just cut it to really, really small pieces and put it right behind the ghost's mouth, the mouths of the ghost, and it's just enough to hold it onto the card. I took an orange strip of cardstock. This is pumpkin pie cardstock from Stampin' Up! And stamped the sentiment Happy Haunting from that same stamp set. All the stamps that I'm using are all from the same stamp set. And just mounted that with some foam adhesive. I also took the small bats that are in the stamp set and added some just to the top of the card, just for a little interest. It looked a little blank up there. And then I went around the outside edge of the card with some white dashed lines to finish it off. I thought about actually sewing it, but I'd already adhered it and the house was on there and it was a little bit too late, so I decided to just do faux stitching. So that's the card for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching.